If you've been dealing with groin strains or pains, this exercise will most likely help you. So today I'll be going over the Copenhagen plank. Now this is actually a very simple exercise. There's not much to it. It can be done for isometric holds, it can be performed for repetitions, or we can implement a combination of both. Now there is levels to this exercise, and that's one of the main reasons why I love it so much, because it can be scaled from a beginner level all the way to more advanced and elite levels of adductor and groin strength. So in this video, I'll be going over the different progressions where you can start depending on your level, and I'll be taking you from the entry beginner level all the way to the more advanced levels so that you can start wherever you're at and start developing some serious adductor strength. So I'm going to be demonstrating today with a chair just because everybody has access to a chair, so there's no excuses for why you can't do this exercise. But you can also use an adjustable bench at a gym, for example, or really anything that is going to allow you to comfortably support your body weight with your leg on that elevation. Now, our easiest variation of this exercise is going to be performing it with a bent leg and using our knee to activate the adductors and support our body weight. So what we're going to do that is place the knee on top of that elevation. We want to ideally maintain a nice 90-degree angle at that knee joint. And aside from that, the only main attribute that we really want to be focusing on maintaining, and this applies to all the variations, is maintaining a good alignment of our femur and our upper body. So we want our body to be in as straight of a line as possible. A good cue that you can use to maintain this is thinking about having your knees in line with the hips and the hips in line with the shoulders. Okay, from here we're just going to use our adductors to pull us up into that top position, and we can either isometrically hold this position from here, we can lower our hips back down and perform it for repetitions, or we can mix the two together. So we isometrically hold at the top of every rep, maximizing that contraction in the adductors, come back down, and repeat that for repetitions. Now, the next progression is going to be extending the leg so that we're applying more leverage onto the adductor muscle group. So the same cues are going to apply in regards to keeping our alignment nice and on point. So think about the foot in line with the knee in line with the hip, and the hip in line with the shoulder. From here, everything is going to be the same, except we're using our foot to lift off rather than our knee. And the foot is supporting our body weight on the far end. And again, we can isometrically hold that top position. We can perform it for reps, or we can perform a combination of both. From there, the next best method of progression to overload the stimulus and increase the intensity is just going to be working through a larger range of motion. So we can start to elevate our foot up higher off of the original surface that we were working from, and everything else is going to be the same. We're just now taking that adductor strength through a larger range of motion and expanding our range of strength. And our final method of progression is just going to be adding some load to the movement, and this makes it infinitely scalable because you can just continue to overload with more and more weight over time. And if you want, you can start to add both more weight and more range to make it even harder and expand those range of strength gains as much as possible. Now, when you're applying the weight, you want to secure that weight with your hand onto the hip so that the distribution of the weight is being applied directly to the adductors. From here, everything is the same. We're just either going through it for reps, isometrically holding, or performing a combination of both. And as you can see, this makes it a hell of a lot harder.